So I've come to Romania, and Nick arrived here last night. We're going to do a little bit of exploring over the coming few days. Started off in Bucharest. Behind me is the palace built by the late tyrant Ceausescu. One thing we noticed walking around Bucharest is that the parking seems to tend to be pretty haphazard, and double parking is the absolute norm. So here's an example of that behind me, and all the way around. If you park anywhere, you got a pretty good chance of getting double parked. And I noticed that most cars on the dash have just got a phone number there. So it seems like if you want to go out, you got to give someone a ring. I was just commenting on what a really nice avenue of trees that they have here. And we were saying we reckon the dictator Ceausescu did a hell of a job. Looks pretty good. Nick just reckons they didn't give enough car parking. So apart from that, pretty good.
Well,
thumbs up.
That are too many cars, but there's an electric car sharing car just right here.
Yep. Revolution's happening right here in Bucharest. But anyway, debunking the myth that the tyrant Ceausescu did a bad job, ripping down all the historic buildings and knocking up his palace and a few Soviet-style apartments. Looks pretty good. Behind me is the Mihai Voda Monastery. Forgive me for mispronouncing that. Apparently this was moved, so dug under, put on rails and moved, as were a number of other monasteries in town, just to make space for the avenues and other things that Ceausescu wanted to build. So I thought that was pretty interesting and decided to drop by. Obviously I was being sarcastic before about Ceausescu having done positive wonders for architecture in Bucharest. Pretty crazy. And then apparently been really hemmed in by these apartment buildings just to sort of hide it away, which is also kind of crazy. So I'm obviously a little bit of a laughing stock because that last monastery was not Mihai Voda. Apparently this one is. I think I'm right this time. So I'm not actually sure of the name of the last one. It's a little bit smaller, but it was nice inside. Anyway, this one looks good too. So also one of the ones that was relocated, and also surrounded by apartment buildings that sort of hem it in a little bit. Nick's bought a couple of these little pastry things from a roadside seller, and 5 lei each, about €1. It's really heavy. It's like thick, heavy dough. Yeah, it's really heavy, quite impressive, good value. And yeah, little sweet snacks. I got another one here. Just had one bite out so far. It's not bad. Next little stop on our walking tour of Bucharest, the Roman Athenaeum, which is behind me. From here, I'm not sure where we're stopping next. Victory Square, Arc de Triomphe, something else that makes this place feel like a kind of mini tour of Europe. Just continuing our little walk, and we're on our way to another one of the uniquely Bucharestian spots, the Arc de Triomphe, which I'm pretty sure has nothing to do with the one in France. Anyway, there's a lot of bins in this park. It's like weird. As Nick said, if you just throw your trash over your shoulder, there's a pretty good chance it's actually going to land in a bin. So just thought that was funny. Along this 100-meter stretch, there's got to be like 30 bins. Past a nice little Trabant here. It's not in perfect condition. Paint's a little bit worn. There's a bit of rust in areas. But awesome, tiny little car.
I've got some information. It's a series of small cars produced from 1957 to 1991 by former East German car manufacturer, blah blah blah.
The design didn't change the whole time. 4
different models actually. The 500, 600, 601 and 1.1.
That's pretty small engine, God.
So this is the 601S.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of the ones.
We have arrived in the Arc de Triomphe. That is what it's called. One of the little sights of Bucharest that makes it unique. And I think that's the last of our major stops on today's little walking tour. And we're going to make our way back to the hotel, I guess. Maybe stop at the pub or something on the way. Anyway, that's that for us in Bucharest.